There ain't nobody here. I have to wait till somebody arrives. Can help me with the testing. Let me open this up. Let's see what happens. Lip lock. Glad you're here. Got a minute to help me? Got a copy? Can you hear me? Let's start there. Can you hear me? How's the mic? Crackling, feedback, any of that? Is it clear? Is it not? Yes, can hear. Tell me what happens when I do this, okay? Tell me what happens right now with the screen. Is everything just normal as it was, or is it different? Did anything change just now? Did anything change? I'm going to do it again. Tell me if anything changes when I do this. Like right now, did anything on the screen change? Or is it just like it was? No, couldn't tell I did anything at all. Audio got a bit glitchy. Shit. What about did the camera change at all? Anything? You got a little bit blurry. But that's it. Hi, Sammy. Damn, it's still got a halo, don't it? That's as low as it goes. I don't know why it's got a halo for today. Ooh. Well, that's too much. No, man, I keep having this buggy issue with the audio, and I just got my mic. Well, I didn't just get it. I've had it a minute, but damn, it shouldn't be messed up already. I tried changing the spot I got her hooked in. I thought that might help. Thought maybe it was loose back here a little bit or something. Audio is good now. Is it not glitchy at all? Does it sound clear, or is it like static? I'm telling you, man, it's getting to me because I've been messing. I have to go back on the game shows and count votes, so I watch it again, and it's like the other nights was horrible. Hey, John, I'm playing catch up. Who won the worst YouTuber? Nobody yet. Josh is currently leading. We have 3 more episodes. Episode 4, episode 5, and then episode 6, the finale. Episode 4 is Wednesday. Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. Sounds clear on my end. I hope it does in the recording. That's what's getting on my nerves, man. The recordings are horrible. They're like, of course, Josh was on too. I know that. Seems to make it worse when I have people on panel. I just realized I can go back and forth and it shouldn't mess nothing up. And like while I'm live, I can be looking through YouTube and see what's going on. Uh-oh. No, ain't nothing. Y'all heard anything new? I ain't heard nothing. Anything on y'all's end? Anything to report? My StreamYard has been really glitchy lately. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just the StreamYard. I don't know, man. I ain't loving all these light trails. Y'all see that? I'm telling you, man, something is not right with my shit. Hold on, y'all. Can y'all hear me? How's the sound right there? Still the same? Worse? Better? Yeah, I can see the light trails. Haven't heard a single thing to make my ears perk up, but of course I've been limiting what I watch and listen to. Yeah, me too. Does it sound better like that? Damn it, still got the light trails. What is up? Look at that. Never did that. Why now? No. Just don't get it, man. You sound fine. Well, at least there's that. Maybe your camera's packing it in. I'm thinking so, man. I'm getting tired of this shit. It's like, I don't know. Crap don't ever seem to last. John Davis True Crime is in the dark. I thought it might get rid of the light trails, but it didn't help. Like it like that. I like it like that. God, I was going to turn on the filter and it's already on. I look like shit. I feel like I'm way over too. Light trails don't look bad. I've never seen that before until today. I thought I could come on here and switch my stuff around and it'd be fixed. Does the mic still sound fine? Is the mic okay still, or is it crackling too? He's doing okay, Sammy. I actually kind of like the light trails. Wonder what causes that. May know. They know what causes the light trails. I guarantee it's my camera, because I don't even, there ain't. Shit. Let's look, camera. Standard definition. Maybe we try this. Hold on. No, that didn't do shit, did it? Nope. Hmm. See, there's nothing to do about that. I got to get to work. Good luck. Yeah. Is there a smudge on your camera lens? I don't know. Let me go get something to clean with. Y'all stay right there. Oh, look at that! What bam! Thank you, lip lock. There was a smudge. Thank you, lip lock. Very informative. Fix that right up. Look at that. Beautiful. Ah, puts me in a better mood. Brightens my mood. What's going on? I want. Well, ain't nobody watching, so it don't matter. I was going to say, wanted to. I'm a freaking genius. Yes, you are. I wouldn't have thought smudges would cause that. I don't know. Just never really thought about it, but sure enough, that fixed it, didn't it? What's been going on, y'all? Hey, y'all been keeping up with the JLR BHB back and forth? Highly entertaining stuff. JLR did make it a decent point, though. He was like talking about Seth didn't call Sebastian's phone after they told him he was missing. Didn't mention that. I'm still confused about the Sebastian's phone, like what part of, like how operable it was. I mean, was it like everybody's phone? You can take and accept calls and all that. I'm assuming. BHB all mad because somebody else getting some of that JLR now. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I tell you though, I don't think Seth has nothing to do with it. I don't even think JLR thinks he has nothing to do with it. I think people just find some of the stuff Seth does is kind of weird. I know I do. I'm still. I made a short, but I didn't release it because I was like, nah, I don't want to piss everybody off over a short. But I think you're hurting the effort with the protests and stuff. BHB has made the back parking lot at Chili's restaurants quite famous. LOL. Yeah, I've heard that rumor. Cameramen used to rub a little Vaseline on the lenses to give actors a soft glow. Old day filters. Might have to try that. No, then they give me light trails again. Don't that. I seen PG did her live last night about how come Summer's case didn't get the reward. What does it mean that Sebastian got the reward? Something like that. I don't know that it means anything. I don't know if I showed this the other night. Did you? Have y'all seen this? I seen that the other day, and I don't personally even know who that is, the glarer. I've seen them before. But it says, is this meme any worse or more insensitive than Dolly's thumbnails about murder victims and missing kids? Things feel strange at the moment. Yeah, they do. It's a weird time right now. I feel like something's getting ready to pop. I got it in me. I don't know in what case, but I think one of the two. I have this weird feeling that something's getting ready to go down. That's pretty hardcore, though, the meme, ain't it? Y'all see that? Y'all looking at that? Y'all agree with that? Or you think that's over the line? I think it's over the line. I ain't going, um, I ain't gonna go too hard though because I think some of Dolly's thumbnails are some bullshit. But I ain't gonna um I don't criticize or make fun of anybody's health condition. He reposted it, Sammy. I don't know if he's the actual inventor of it. He gives a shout out to Chronicles of the Shady, so I'm thinking maybe that's where it came from. But he's saying, is that any worse than Dolly's thumbnails? I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Not sure. I like to I like to get opinions. That's why that's why I like to do polls sometimes online. See where people are at. And I've been wondering what the percentages was on people that thought what BHB did, Bullhorn Betty. If people had thought that she deserved to be arrested, or people were leaning toward she's violating free speech, be on Betty's side of the situation. I did a poll, and let me check it, see where we're at. I think we're still in the same spot. Yeah, 65%. This is 404 total votes. 65% say Betty should have been arrested. 65% are in agreement with Betty having been arrested. What do y'all think? That line up with how y'all feel? People on this platform seem to really enjoy kicking others when they're down. Well, I'll kick a man when he's down if he's done it to himself. But like, somebody having a heart attack, no. Nah. That seems like a poor timing to me personally. I thought it was kind of bad. Personally, I believe she deserved to be arrested, and I also believe she deserves to be arrested again for violating. I tell you, man, um, she was arrested for violating the protection order. I'm thinking I think a judge has the right to tell somebody, do not talk about this person, do not put stuff out about this person, do not mention them. I'm thinking that's where the violation come in. I hate that people like Bullhorn give everyone a bad name. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think sometimes you get too into stuff, and I really think, honestly, if you look at it, it's hurting the case more than it's helping it. All this, all the protesting for Seth's name to be cleared and all that. I don't know. But then I sometimes wonder myself, maybe they're low key. They know by doing this kind of stuff, it'll keep his name out there, and that's why they do. I wouldn't. I tell you, man, I can't put myself in his shoes and Seth's shoes and be the parent of a missing child. I can't. I can't imagine it. But I can honestly say I don't think I would rule anything out if I thought in the end it would help get my son back. I think most parents would feel the same. That's why I try to give him some leeway, but I really feel like this protest and have his name cleared is some bullshit. Because I went to the Cold Case Foundation site and everything. To me, it pretty much says all you have to do is submit an application is be the family member of a victim. That's it. I don't see anything. I don't see, because number one, clearing people before cases are solved is not a common practice. It's not something that happens all the time. That's why, we even talk about in Summerwell's case, they never cleared the parents. Well, I mean, I think there's a reason for that, but that's not that uncommon. It really ain't. It's rarer for the police to come out and clear somebody, especially early on. I mean, Sebastian's case, yeah, it's been 6 months, but in terms of the length of a case, that's not that long. So it just seems like a real weird thing to be concentrating on, in my opinion. I'm not on board with the protesting of the bullhorns. I'm not either. I'm not a protester, man. I'm not much about it. I've been learning about a thing called ambiguous loss that impacts the parents and loved ones of the missing. It's really sad. Well, my thing is, though, you got people around you that should be helping you with these decisions. And attacking law enforcement just seems like the worst way to go, in my opinion. It seems like the worst advice you could give a parent of a missing kid. Hey, you need to have some beef with law enforcement. It's gonna help this out. It's not. It's not. And that's why I question people around him, whoever is going along with this line of the plan. It's weird. It's horrible advice. Horrible advice. Horrible advice. And that's one reason I always liked Brandy Neal, because she was always at the police stuff with the police. That's what I think is the actions of a missing kid that really is concentrated on getting to the bottom of things. I think you want to get along with police. Why do you want to be an issue with police? And you're never going to get. And I tell you, could it possibly work? And possibly in the long run, it may get the case given to somebody else. But I just feel like that's the worst way to get help into a case, is by having this big drama mess going on. I mean, that's not going to make other agencies and other people want to come in when they see that, like, the dad has, a media manager and this YouTuber with him that's like just giving the police hell constantly over stuff. That's not going to attract the Cold Case Foundation and stuff like that. I think if the Cold Case Foundation is looking at this from the outside, they're probably thinking, wow, this has turned into a shit show. Do we want to be a part of that? Do we want to tie the Cold Case Foundation's name into this? And I still don't see anywhere on their website and any of their literature that I could find where it says anything about the suspect status of the family. It just says the family member of a victim, and it talks about the different cases and kind of stuff they cover, which is missing, homicides, different stuff, you know. So the missing covers the Sebastian party's missing. Member of a victim's family, Seth's his dad. All he'd have to do is submit the request. I don't know that protesting and fighting with the police is going to help your application. Am I wrong on that? What do y'all think? Do you think? I wish I could put up a poll question, but I can't figure it out in StreamYard. I'd like to know what people think. Do they think that in terms of getting the Cold Case Foundation involved, it helps or it hurts by the stuff that Seth and his PR team are doing? I would have to say it hurts. I just don't see where it could be helped. It could be helping keeping the name out on in the YouTube, but I don't know how much that helps right now. You're right, John, you would need law enforcement backing you. Yeah, and you know, in the part where it talks about, you know, how they'll take cases, number one is law enforcement is the first person they mentioned. Law enforcement reaches out. So why are they doing what they're doing? That's why I'm suspicious of Seth, man. I try to give him as much leeway as possible, but then I look at this in a group. Nobody seems to think this is not the way to handle things, and that makes me suspicious that everybody's going along with that. That's in that little mix. You know, I tell you, I'm still back on the video too. I'm back on the video that there's something to that. There's something to somebody being active at 3:30 or 3 o'clock, whatever time the video was, on a Sunday night in a cul-de-sac in, you know, upper middle class neighborhood in Tennessee, that there's activity going on at 3 o'clock at night, and it doesn't have anything to do with the kid that disappeared that night. I find it so unlikely. So unlikely. I think the Cold Case Foundation could be of great help in Sebastian's case, but not as long as Tony Mathis is involved. Yes. I don't think he helps that at all. I'm convinced now. I'm convinced that that video has something to do with it. I'm almost convinced that we're all on the wrong trail. That there's something happened, that somebody took him, and maybe Katie ain't even involved. I think it's a possibility. I mean, everybody can act like they know. Oh, I know Katie's in on it. Look at what she's done. She hasn't been searching. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, there is her behavior has been kind of low key, but she managed to just completely outsmart everybody. Is that really likely? Or is it likely that maybe somebody had gotten to him and talked him into meeting, and that's what's happened? I'm about there, man. I am about there. I'm about there before I'm willing to think that she just pulled this off all by herself, or Chris somehow helped, and they've managed to outsmart law enforcement. Somebody can be like, it's the local sheriff's office, but TBI's been looking in this, FBI's been looking in this. They still pulled it off so well. And I'm thinking there's electronic evidence, right? If they're saying her phone was there all night and all this, I mean, they're saying there's no sign of foul play, no sign of suspicion. Or maybe she is involved, and maybe it's a thing where she was like, all right, here's what's going to happen. At 3 o'clock, somebody's going to come to the window. You got to go with them. Is that possible? Yes. But I don't think Katie had anything at all to do with Sebastian disappearing. Lip lock, I'm not sold. I used to be like convinced. I used to be in this mindset that kids just don't vanish. She was the adult there. It's got to be. But I tell you, I don't know anymore. I don't know. I don't see how she pulled it off by herself. And if you know what I go back to though, every time I think about, she ain't got nothing to do with it. I think about that 4-hour phone call. Oh, it just seems so suspicious, don't it? It's like a never ending. I find a problem with everything, and to have a 4-hour phone call that night is just mind blowing. Somebody you haven't seen in 3 weeks, and it was 3.5 hours for him to come in, and he hadn't. The thing though that don't make sense too is, well, what's her motive? He was getting ready to go start staying with Seth anyway. Couldn't take a few more months. It was worth getting rid of him. That don't make sense, does it? If it was he was messing up the marriage, and you wanted to be with Chris so bad, you would think, okay, you got it out a few more months and then problem solved. I just can't believe Katie made all the sacrifices she made for Sebastian's benefit just to get rid of him. It doesn't make sense. Why didn't law enforcement offer up a reward for Summer? Well, FBI did it for Sebastian, and they make it out like it was a thing that they talked to him about and worked out and all this. I don't know. Summer's biggest issue with stuff like that is you don't have the family. Like Sebastian's got Seth talking to FBI and stuff. Summer don't have that family member. Hi, Nance Joe. I was just testing, trying to work out my mic issue I've been having and my camera issue. Now we've just been talking about Sebastian Rogers, 15-year-old, missing from Tennessee for a long time, since February 26, 8+ months. I don't know, man. I'm almost to the point now where I think it was Seth and Uncle Taco. I wish has Katie took a lie detector? Do we know? I know there was all the talk. I done forgot. Has Katie took a lie detector? Do we know? Surely. No? I remember Chris backed out on one. Is Katie taking one? Do y'all know? I don't think Katie wanted Sebastian to go live with Seth because it was Chris and said that we're talking her into it. Chris and said that we're talking her into it. Chris and Seth that we're talking her into it. I know law enforcement have trained media officers, but they really need to get the program and seriously advise parents about coming to social media. Yes. Yes. 100%. And I tell you, honestly, I feel like at this point, um, just all the nonsense that happens, the YouTube probably hurts cases more than it helps them for sure. And it definitely, I would have to think, is no great help for their mental stability, their mental health. Wouldn't y'all agree with that? I quit smoking, but started vaping. Now I got to quit vaping. That's going to be hard. Let me look around, see what's on YouTube. Y'all want to surf YouTube with me? Let's watch something. What y'all want to watch? Let's see what's new on Sebastian Rogers. Hmm. 2 weeks ago, 4 months ago, 6 days ago, 4 days ago. Y'all not hearing that? Could y'all not hear that? Could y'all hear the news thing I played? Y'all could hear it, though, right? Oh shit! Hold on.
And their miracles happen every day. Now continuing coverage of another Amber Alert that so many of you have been following. Today marks 2 weeks since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers went to his bed in Shackle Island at his house there, not to be seen again. Many gathering for a prayer vigil at his high school this evening. Sebastian's disappearance has certainly gripped hearts across Middle Tennessee and beyond. Now, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office launched a massive search for the...
It says the title of it, 6 months missing, FBI offers $50,000 reward.
Teen with autism. For more than a week, they searched. Sebastian's biological mother, Katie Proudfoot, and stepfather, Christopher Proudfoot, believe he walked off in the middle of the night. But there's no trace of Sebastian that has been found by investigators on video, by witnesses, or scent picked up by any dogs. This week, investigators combed a landfill in Kentucky, detectives again saying that they came up empty-handed. Tonight, dozens of people gathered at Beach High School, Sebastian's school, just down the road from his home. The community wearing green, Sebastian's favorite color, as they prayed together. A statement from Sebastian's mother was also read aloud.
We want to let the community know that we don't have words to express our gratitude for the support we have received in searching for our son. We pray that everyone continues to help search and pray that we find him and bring him home safe.
Before that vigil, community members passed out flyers again, hoping that any type of awareness may help bring Sebastian home.
Our community is not going to forget any child. We're not going to forget any part of our community, and that we're here together in solidarity to be supportive of the efforts to bring him home.
Earlier in the week, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office announced they were scaling back the search effort and focusing more on the investigation aspect into Sebastian's disappearance. Now, anyone with information about where Sebastian could possibly be should immediately call.
Let's see what Seth has to say.
For his boy.
Every day. Every day. I have to. To stop looking is to give up hope.
Rogers is now getting help from the United Cajun Navy, an organization that's aided in hundreds of search and rescues and disasters across the country.
It gives me even more hope. More hope that the professionals have arrived. The people that are going to lead this. They're going to find my son. And they're going to bring him back to me.
Boy, that was a letdown, wasn't it? The Cajun Navy didn't work out too well.
Prophet was already in Nashville helping during the search for missing Mizzou student Riley Strain. Now they'll be coordinating search teams, tracking dogs, and even water searches if necessary for Sebastian. Rogers saying his inquisitive son could be anywhere.
Because knowing him and his curiosity, he might be there. You don't leave any stone unturned.
This, as Sebastian's mother and stepfather have not been seen in the search efforts. Countless theories about what happened to Sebastian and the family are plastered continually on social media.
Do you have any?
See, I think I see the searching thing a little different. It's like I see, like, as far as Chris would be more to comfort Katie. So with him not searching, I could see that, but I don't know. That's where I think she loses a lot of people, is you haven't heard about her searching or looking, and then she left so quick.
Knowledge whatsoever about your son's disappearance?
Yeah.
I don't. I found out over an hour after his mother found out he was gone. Foul play is still negativity. He's out there. We just got to find him.
Rogers is now calling for more volunteers to help comb Sumner County, he says, beyond the first week's search radius of 5 miles.
We haven't found him yet, so we can't give up hope. We still have to keep looking for him until we find him. We're Sebastian's Army.
I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
We are Sebastian's Army.
Search too, all in an effort to try to bring this teenager home. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us live from TBI's headquarters in East Nashville with more. Caitlin?
Yes, Megan and Scott, TBI says that they don't want to leave one stone unturned. So they've been out there every day and night investigating. And so have volunteers. We have spoken with a group today who's been handing out these flyers to keep Sebastian's name and image out in the public eye.
This must just be a recap of everything that's happened. Let's see what the end of it is.
I'm on a tilt-a-whirl.
Seth Rogers is torn apart. There is still no trace of his 15-year-old son, Sebastian Rogers, who has autism. Investigators say he was last seen on February 26 in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville.
It's a 15-year-old missing child. He's my son.
His biological mother, Katie Proudfoot, previously told Fox 17 News she last saw her son Sebastian the night before in their Hendersonville home. Sebastian lived with his mother and her husband, Chris Proudfoot. The two did not want to comment. The TBI, who partners with the FBI and the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, told Fox 17 News, quote, "No evidence at this time indicating criminal activity is involved," end quote. Seth tells me the FBI offering a $50,000 reward is great, but wants more from local law enforcement.
I wish that there was agencies that were emotionally invested to do their job.
Seth has hired a private investigator to continue looking for his son. Sebastian Rogers.
See, I don't like that, man. You know, I wish there were agencies that are emotionally invested. I think a good portion of people that are in law enforcement are in it for the right reasons because they do care. I'm sorry. This driving the wedge between law enforcement shit is dumb. It's very dumb. It's ignorant. And it's annoying to me. You know? It's ignorant to me. And that's why I get annoyed about the Tony situation, is that Tony goes along with it. If it's a case of it's Seth and, you know, it's his son and he emotionally, that's what's coming out, then you need, as if you're there to help him, help direct that and explain it, not feed it. That's why I question Tony's motives. Why if he's there to honestly help the situation, is why if he isn't coming up with this dumb shit about protest and to have Seth's name cleared and all that, if he's not coming up with it, why is he going along with it? Explain those motives to me. I'm just here to be somebody for him to talk to. Well, is that it? Then that's, you need to be somebody that helps him make better decisions. Whoever's making the decisions sucks. It just sucks. Less YouTube, more mainstream media would be the number one suggestion I would give. Number two would be nurture a good relationship with law enforcement. These are the same people that wasn't that long ago was talking about, they never tell us what's going on. We don't get updates. I wonder why. I wonder if they think to themselves, let's keep this guy in the loop that for some reason is protesting to have his name cleared. I would say that comes off to law enforcement just a little bit strange. Hold on one second. Oh, yeah. How do you have your name cleared if you haven't been charged with anything? Thank you. And all that's doing is if you're there to help, there wouldn't be a motive. Something's weird, man, about all of it. You know, and that's why I think this JLR Betty situation is wild to watch, because I think all JLR really does is call out the crazy stuff like that. And I try not to stick my nose into stuff, but I don't get Betty, man. I don't get her if she really wants to help the situation. Why all this nonsense with getting arrested and all that? I don't get it. I do not get this big need to fight with law enforcement. And the acting sheriff just passed in Sumner County, and he was replaced with a different sheriff, and everybody already has a problem with this guy. I mean, in reality, people want to succeed. I'm pretty sure any sheriff don't want to have an active missing kid case in his county unsolved. It can't be good for their political future, because the sheriff's kind of a political position. It's an elected position. I don't believe BHB cares about Sebastian or any other missing person. She's in it for the money and the clout. And that's what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like when all the shit is about you and your beef with law enforcement, and not about what's actually being investigated. It's a bad look. Hi, Candace Wade. Just imagine if TTT is really working for CP or BCX. Just allegedly imagine. Just imagine if TTT is really working for CP or the Power Sox. Just allegedly imagine. So if Tony was working, wow, that would make more sense. Wouldn't it? I don't think that's the case, but it almost, like some of TikTok Tony's actions just might lead you to believe he was trying to make Seth look bad and take the focus off Chris and Katie. Because that's, at the end of the day, the reality is all this nonsense with being cleared and all that is taking the focus off of Chris and Katie. If the focus was ever on them, it's definitely distracting from them, right? And all this law enforcement effort they're putting into serving protective orders on BHB and hunting her down and rearresting her and all this stuff, all this is effort that's not being put into finding Sebastian Rogers. That's why I just like to sit back and watch this train wreck unfold and comment on it. Give you my take. Because that's what it is. It's a disaster. Every day it's a little something more. And I'm not taking sides either. I'm not. But, like, I feel like with JLR, what he reports is on YouTube, right? What Seth and all these are doing, protesting and all this stuff, is directly affecting law enforcement. I feel like the Seth side is hurting the case more than the JLR side. Right? Not that JLR's a saint. I'm not saying that. I think he dabbles in some clickbaity headlines and stuff, but he's keeping it on YouTube. Team Seth is actually diverting resources and stuff like that. I think it's a different kind of effect. Anytime, see, that's why I'm so against people reporting stuff to TBI that they hear on YouTube and stuff, because I really feel like nobody seems to grasp that there are a limited number of detectives and man hours that go into these cases. I know how big it is on YouTube, but what you don't realize is there are departments and people that are looking at this, and there's not a lot of them. So if you throw them, hey, he was seen at a rest stop 2 weeks later, and those people are diverted looking into that for weeks, that's weak stuff's getting covered up over here while they're looking over here. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that shit really hurts. It hurts a lot. That's why I'm always against people calling in some kind of something they heard off of YouTube or some bullshit email or something in the TBI, because I don't know. I don't know. I just think in reality, there's not enough manpower to investigate this stuff as it is. You damn sure don't want to have them looking at something that's not important. And isn't it sad that there are sides in the case of a missing child? And yeah, there is. Yeah. Yeah. And you never know. We don't know. Imagine this, that it comes down to a scenario of it's not Chris or Katie, and it's not Seth either. Think about that. It's Sebastian has, because there's a lot of stuff that's went on both sides. No matter what you say, bad stuff on both sides, right? What if it was a situation of Sebastian was like, I can't take these people anymore. It's always some bullshit. And met somebody at school. I still don't think that that's been 100% ruled out. How do we know it's not like a third party thing? What gets me though is I get a weird vibe that they seem to not consider that he could be gone. I almost feel like there's a vibe they expect him to be back. Like it's kind of like the Summer case. I feel like sometimes there's an air of, I feel like the parents already know what's happened. I get that with them some too. If it's related to the lights at 3 a.m., someone went back to the house. See, found so much truth. I'm with you on that. That's what it looks like in the video. I will say that. Could it have been a handoff? Did we just witness the handoff in that video? I swear I think that's within the realm of possibility. I always go back to the video. That's what we're speaking about. So the video, there's a video out of 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, some lights going back, and it seems like they converge at one point, and then one goes back to where it come from, and the other two disappear. So it's almost like somebody took somebody to meet somebody and then went back. It's almost like that. But if that's what it is and somebody went back, we got to assume that somebody was Katie and that she knows. When indeed, for valid reasons, Katie doesn't want to be anywhere near Seth, and I think that's why Chris protects her. I tell you, I feel like there is some, I feel like, and if you've seen the divorce papers and all that stuff, which I've seen a lot of it, of the stuff between Seth and Katie, it was pretty, I don't think I've ever been through that much rough shit in one relationship. There's a lot of wildness, like the whole thing of protective orders and all that shit. OG Nanny, member for 16 months. Thank you, OG Nanny. Oh, man, now you got me back on the video thing. I said a long time ago, I wish the person that filmed the video would film the trash guys just to show that it doesn't line up. That way you could put that to bed. I've known that. I've heard, though, they say the trash guys didn't come till 5 something, so there's no way. The video could very well be Sebastian Lee. Very well, I think, 100%. Very well could be. What else is going on at 3 o'clock at night? If everything we know about it's accurate, what else is going on at 3 o'clock in the night in a well-to-do neighborhood on a Sunday/Monday morning at 3:30? I'm firmly convinced that Seth groomed to Katie from a very early age. We have learned, and something's really weird there. If you look at the numbers, it looks like to me their relationship started when he was 22 and she was 12. That's wild. That's wild. I have seen videos on YouTube of people getting set up in stings under those circumstances. And that doesn't seem to get spoke about. It doesn't seem like people make that big of a deal out of it. I think it's really damn weird. Think about what I was doing when I was in my early 20s. It damn sure wasn't hanging around 7th graders. I've always had an issue with that. But I thought everybody thought I was being like dramatic about it. But I think it's strange. And even if say they were just friends, then that's weird too. I'm sorry, it is, man. I don't know. Maybe people were different in their early 20s than me, but I wasn't talking to 12-year-olds. I don't, for one month, believe that it's a trash truck. I do believe they're flashlights. Yeah, me too. You would think if Sebastian was lured out, they would have found evidence in his tech. See, Sammy, I go, yes, that's a good point. That's a good point with the tech. It would definitely show, like, you would definitely think if they have his phone and his switch and stuff, it would definitely be able to get into any online conversations he would be having. And I would think, I don't know. I just worry about how hard they got into that stuff where it's still not being treated as much of a crime as I think it should be at this point. I don't know how. I'm hoping they've dug to the fullest. Could have been a plan to remove S until CP gained custody of Faith, but it blew up into something they never dreamed it could. A possibility. My thing with that though is, man, that's such a wild thought to think that it's going to help you in one custody battle by being the suspect of a missing child in life, right? That's a real odd thing to do to win a custody battle. I'm just saying, in my opinion. I've heard that, and there's been a few people that have went that way. I just think, I don't know how it could have not worked out horribly that you're the step parent of a missing kid, and that's not going to affect your custody in a bad way. CP thought it would be a runaway case, though. Still, it's a lot to, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not saying he ain't involved. I don't think that's the motive. I just don't think so. I mean, he's already the dad, right? So in any custody case, you're automatically at a disadvantage. Number one. Number two, the dad of a runaway kid, that doesn't help. That hurts probably more. I don't know that, and you know, people have talked about testifying and all that. I just, I don't know. I would have to know how contentious the stuff is at the time. I don't know. I mean, is it a possibility? Yes, because we still have no idea what actually has happened to this kid. Anything is a possibility. I just think it's unlikely. If I ever caught one of my 3 boys at the age of 22 with a 12-year-old girl, I'd call the cops myself. I don't think it's the motive either. He didn't want S around Faith at all. I don't know. I don't get the motive, honestly. You know, in any scenario, one of them I think is like a possibility is maybe Katie didn't want Sebastian being with Seth. I feel like there is a lot of something more than we even know between Katie and Seth, because you never see them cats dare be near each other. I do agree that Chris did not want Faith around Sebastian, but I don't see that as a motive to do something to the boy. I mean, if you look about it, yeah, see, and that's why I think Katie is still a suspect in my mind, is because I put a lot of weight on being the last person to see somebody, especially the last parent to see a missing child. You're always going to be the biggest suspect in my mind until you're just 100% proven you didn't have shit to do with it, or the child's found and you know, whatever. But to me, there should be a lot of weight put on who is the last parent to have physical custody of the child when that child disappears. That's why you go back to Summer's case, and I think Candace, I still say I'm not convinced the boys would even have known she was there or not. I think it could have been a case of, hey, what's your sister? And they're in there like, okay, Mom, yeah, we got it. Never even seen her. That's why I think she's the number one suspect. And Green's, man, I just until we know different, that's my opinion. And with Katie, she's got to be. I mean, and like, you know, that video, if it does lay out the way it looks, somebody did it would look like somebody went back, right? That would have, who else could that have been? She's the only other one at the house. It's going to be something at the end of this. It comes out that video was legit evidence, and that's why it got downplayed and all that. I think it's a great possibility. And I think they pretty much ruled out the trash truck ideas. No, not at 3 o'clock. I lean strongly towards Sebastian having been lured out on the internet, but I really don't know. I think it's a possibility. I swear, the longer this goes on, I think it looks like more of a possibility. Because it definitely wasn't Seth directly. We know that, right? If it is Katie, what did she do with him? Did she take him out that morning and manage to get him that far away? And I still say everybody acts like she would just have an easy time moving Sebastian around. I don't see why people think that. Yeah, he wasn't that big, but I mean, Is she She-Hulk or something? I still say I think she would have had a decent hard time with a body. You know, I mean, I hate to be that guy, but you gotta. It's not easy, right? And she would have had to have taken him out that morning, done something with him, okay, and then been back. And then what happens? The only way it works is if it's a handoff and she did it that morning, but then there's got to be somebody else involved. I would love to know if there's surveillance video of her leaving that morning. Anybody else in the car? Hell, for all we know, Sebastian could have been in the car. She could have took him and said, "Go with." Who is that person? Who is this third party? You know, it's a possibility, but I don't. It's one of the two. He left that night, and that's what the video is. It's that video, man. It's something. It's something. It ain't the trash truck. So what is it exactly? Has anybody ever come up with an alternate theory? If it didn't have shit to do with that, then what is it? I still say she's going to struggle with it lip lock. I'm sorry. I know what it's like to carry somebody limp too. It's not easy, like y'all are portraying. When they're not cooperating, makes it a lot harder. She'd probably throw you up and run around the room. Why are you trying to argue with me? You said you didn't think it was her. You just want to be a devil's advocate this morning, ain't you? Till I'm down, Sebastian was anywhere else outside that house. I have to go by Katie placing herself at home with him. See, what kind of sleeper is she? Because you would think if he'd have snuck out, he would have at least startled the dogs, maybe, if somebody was around. We got to get somewhere, man. I don't feel like we're anywhere on that case. As far as factual information, what do you know? Nothing much at all. I feel something's in the air, though. Somebody said that earlier, brought it up. I feel it too, man. I feel like something is getting ready to pop. I don't know which case. Could be someone else's case. Could be this case. I feel like something's getting ready to pop. Somebody's going to break that reward. That reward's getting pretty hefty. I don't get good vibes from any of them. I tell you, man, on Facebook, there's a Facebook group, Find Sebastian Robbers. Seth is the saint, and Katie and Chris are the super villains, and any thoughts outside those lines will get you reamed. I don't see it as that clear cut, man. I don't think anybody's past is great. You know? And I don't know. Public sentiment, though, is that it's Katie. I guarantee you, maybe I should do a poll. Nah, I probably shouldn't. But if I did a poll and I said, who do you think is responsible for Sebastian's disappearance? She'd win. There's a pocket of Seth people out there. It's not very big. But I don't think Seth would have been, or Uncle Taco would have come out if he was involved, you know. Whoever did this, I hope they're caught and justice served. I tell you, I'm still not sold that Sebastian ain't still with us. I think Sebastian could still be out there. I don't think he's going to be out at rest stops or in the public, but I think he could be somewhere. You know, you never know, man, because we found out what happened to him, you know, what come out in the wash. That and some other stuff. There could have been a teacher or somebody around that was like, this, who knows? It's possible. Or he could have run off with somebody and he could be with them right now. I don't know. I tend to think, though, hopefully they went through his electronics well enough and there would be some kind of clue of that in that. It's illegal to hide him as well, though, correct? I've thought about that. Yeah. Because if it was Katie that did it, she would be in trouble for filing a false police report. Number one, I would assume, right? And yeah. Interesting that hordes of people that don't know blank about blank think they know everything about everything. Oh man, that's why I have a hard time just reaming people as hard as some other people do, because I'm like, man, you really don't know that person. You've seen a few interviews, you know. You really don't know, and I damn sure don't want to blame somebody. And I've always thought Chris Proudfoot just seemed too big mouth and cocky to actually be somebody that had done something. I feel like he'd have been a lot more humble with public opinion if there was something that could stick to him. I think it's a possibility, that a good possibility that he, whatever it is, ain't part of it. I know people hate to hear that, but if the alibis are legit as we know them and he was that far away, could he have knowledge of after the fact? Yes, possibly, I guess, but maybe, you know, his ego of I wasn't in on it would be enough to get mouthy on it. I remain curious as to how a missing persons case automatically becomes a crime on YouTube. Well, you know, to be honest, Liplock, this thing, the first, I don't know, 2 weeks solid probably, I was still kind of under the impression that's how this still was going to be. And I think just after so long, people are like, this just don't make sense. And I think the autism played a part into it too, because, you know, it makes him seem more vulnerable to the public. I think that is, you know, why a lot of people kind of like, this boy's missing, and somebody apparently by now, you know, as time evolved, people started looking harder at it as well. This ain't making sense, you know. But you're right. As far as we know, the only crime could be Sebastian ran away. But by now, he's having to have some help from somebody. Has to. By now, he didn't get up and walk into the house and here 6 months later is still out and about. I tell you though, Liplock, now I honestly feel like every missing persons case from the jump should be looked at as a criminal investigation. Imagine if they were, how much evidence would have been saved in some of these missing persons cases that was lost because it was treated as, or in some of these, you know, cases where foul play has occurred, where it was treated more as, it was just somebody had walked off or something. I think definitely when somebody under the age of 18 goes missing, boom, it's crime right there. Makes you wonder too, like Summer's case, because if you remember at the beginning of Summer's case, I think a lot in the first 48 hours, a lot of the vibe was she was right there somewhere in the woods, probably, And we all know how many people was in and out up there that night and all the stuff that went on, all of that. If that would have been, what if everybody would have been split up? As soon as she called 911, the cops got there, they split everybody up, started questioning them right then and there. What might have happened? Locked down the house, everything, brought in forensics. I don't take issue with law enforcement treating a missing person as a potential crime. I take issue with YouTube creators jumping on the bandwagon right off the bat that it was a crime. Yeah. Yeah. I just don't see how with what we know, how you can be confident to support anybody like 100%. Yeah. Social media. Treat it weird, man. It's weird. This is a weird case, I think, because of the past. I think it's I don't know. I think it's real weird. Exactly how long was Summer missing before the call was made? Who knows? I don't know. They say it wasn't long. 10, 15 minutes, I think. Come on in, Trigger. You triggered this morning about anything? I ain't. Trigger with my mic messing up. It's been clear though lately, right, y'all? Did we solve the mic issue or is it back? I've been talking about every single case that's ever been handled on YouTube, not just Sebastian. I don't know. You got to have an opinion, though, right? What would we talk about? I think some people just take it too far, man. I think getting involved with it, like, I never thought it was good that a lot of interviews come out on YouTube in open cases, like interviews of witnesses. I really would rather see cases get solved than see the evidence before trial. I wonder about how. I think eventually that's going to play a big part in something, either good or bad. Probably bad, if I had to guess. Things like that worry me. And you got to think too, like people nitpick apart the interviews that Candace did with Chris McDonough, and I did it myself. But as far as in court, what she said there really don't mean shit because she wasn't under oath and he wasn't active law enforcement, so none of that really means nothing. And to be honest, for all we know, what the police have been told and what we've seen on YouTube could be completely different things. Because police don't tell us shit about shit. Pardon my language. Yeah, the timeline could be completely different or something altogether. Who knows? It's what they say on record in custody that really matters. persons of interest that like attention on YouTube is not a good look. You know, I really don't believe people that come on YouTube and talk about stuff are involved. But wouldn't it be wild? Because imagine it's one of these in the Summer Wells case. Imagine it is one. They come out. That's who it was. Like either JSB or Andy or Fred Hill or whoever. And it ends up being one of them. All the film there will be out there of this person as, you know, they had already committed this crime playing on YouTube. That would be wild, wouldn't it? All of the video footage you'd have of this monster. Highly doubt it's going to play out that way. Because I just don't think people that commit serious crimes like that tend to want to do a ton of live streams about it. You feel me on that one? Look at Ted Bundy. He loved all the attention. Now I knew there was going to be one of y'all. I'm talking statistically. It's not as likely. But we do have a lot of Dawn and Candace already on YouTube. So if it, in the end, it does turn out to be them, imagine, well, I know a lot of people are already convinced that's the case, but imagine all the footage be gone back over, be like, oh, I really hope we find that one day. That's my biggest thing. I cannot imagine going to my grave not having the answer of what happened to Summer Wells, especially. That's the whole reason I got waded into the true crime genre, into this cesspool of YouTube. There's some weird people out there, attention seekers, are drawn like a moth to a flame. Okay, Sammy Sparrow, who was it again? Which one of them did it? Tell us. Enlighten me. I'll lip lock. We know who you think did it. Andrew voiced his theory that the boys were involved in her discipline. What? Boys were involved in her disappearance just this morning. God, what? No, he did not. Oh, oh, oh. Are you kidding me? Did he say that? Oh. That's gross. Until there's any kind of evidence of anything to do with them, nobody should be saying that. And Andrew, considering the fact his son was with her the last known hours of her existence, don't need to be throwing blame anywhere until we find out. That's what I think about his opinion. He needs to keep it to himself. And you got a wedding to be worried about. Oof. I know who my new favorite's going to be tomorrow night. Hey, Lisa Love. I don't know why he'd say that, man. You know, he's another one. It's done nothing but hurt the situation. You know, he told me that he told H to lie if he didn't feel like answering questions. Actually said that. That was his advice. Hey, if you don't know the answer, if you don't feel like answering questions, just lie. Just get through it. In a missing kids investigation, your advice to your son, missing 5-year-old girl, your advice to your son is when you're talking to police, if you don't feel like answering questions, just lie. And people follow that. Tune in constantly. See what he's talking about. That's the world we live in. That's that. And let's be honest, without the Summerwells case, nobody knows who he is. Nobody. Lie to police in a missing persons case if you don't feel like answering questions. How about just like if you don't want to answer questions, let's have a talk, son. Tell me what's going on. You need to give some advice, you know. That's just, it's amazing. And it's even more amazing to do that, but that's not amazing enough. Then to tell everyone you did that. That's like having him on YouTube. There is no way I would ever recommend that. But that kind of decision making, knowing that's how H was brought up, that's the kind of people we're influencing him, makes you worry. You know, if he's giving him that kind of shitty advice, what else is, you know, and we know H was hanging around with Candace doing TikToks and stuff. There's one of them laying in a bed doing a TikTok together. I always found that strange, you know. A lot of weirdness around these cases, man. A lot of weirdness. You know? Like Candace and hanging out with H, your friend's kid. It seems odd to me to pick up the 15-year-old to hang out with your 5-year-old daughter when you left your sons at home. it's all odd to me how that plays out. It's really odd, though, to me, to be hanging out with H as Candace without Allie. Seems like such an awkward age for a boy to be hanging out with a middle-aged woman, his mom's friend. The TikTok's weird. Really strange. Danny, you want to say hi? Brandy's going to drown me out with the TV upstairs. Has anyone heard from daughter Candace? Candace hanging out with Hunter is sort of like Seth hanging out with Katie. Liplock, I thought that, but I wasn't going to go there. It is. It's kind of weird, right? I don't know which is weirder. I don't know. I don't know what Candace and Dawn's been up to lately. I haven't heard in a while. I think they're maybe retired. She's still going Moose? Does anybody know? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I just find it odd how they roll. Like to leave the boys at home, but to pick up a 15-year-old boy to hang out with your 5-year-old seems weird to me. You know, the spot they picked seems like it wasn't about the swimming. It's more about the privacy. What about Tim Mullins? Has he had any shenanigans lately? I don't know. Tim's got me blocked from everything. I can't see nothing he does. Straight blocked. Ever since his TikToking at the Summer's Day with Dawn. I wonder what they was recording. Did y'all hear about that? I heard somebody was recording them a lot. Like they were making something, maybe a documentary piece or something. Maybe they're thinking this is all going away. I tell you, I hate to say it, but Summer's case is cold right now. Something needs to spring up. I think in reality, right now, it's fairly cold. I get people still make videos about Fred and all this stuff, but I worry about anything legitimate being done right now. So who knows? I haven't seen or heard nothing out of any of them. And well, there was I guess the last thing was the interview at Summer's Day when Candace wouldn't be on camera. I think there's been some stuff. She's been in some chats since then, maybe. That's about it. And you know, now in Summer's case, is there even a reward of any kind out there anymore? Well, the other one, I guess, was dissolved into the charity thing. Zeke is flipped. Hold on. Where you at? I heard you. Where'd you go? There you are. How'd you get by me? You want to say hi? See, check out my ears. Ain't they cute? See, eek, see, eek. I believe the first two private pledges still stand. Seemed like everybody got real weird in Summer's case when Fred Hill started talking. I don't know, man. When Fred went over his stuff in prison, like they had tried to take him out to silence him, that's when I thought, man, we were just going too far with all this. Haven't kept up, have we? Getting antsy. Yeah, I appreciate everybody for coming. Been a good chat. Trying to get my stuff straightened out. I hope my mic's better. I'm going to listen to the recording and see. But we'll be back tomorrow night for Game of Thrones if y'all want to tune in. I might be partial to help somebody get some votes after this morning's actions. But I'm going to go. We got to put Zeke up. She's too wild this morning. I'll see y'all later. Say bye, Zeke.